It's done and ready to go.
This meeting is called to order. Welcome to the Wednesday, December 4th meeting of the Board of Education. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Remain standing for a moment of silent meditation. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item B is our superintendent's report. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Trombetta to present to some special students.
Thanks, Mr. Scavo. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving and the holiday season's already begun. We've had some wonderful concerts that we started to attend and see all the performances. We also had 2 amazing performances at each high school with the winter the plays that they performed. So I just want to say congratulations to all those students. And now I'd like to go into the student recognition. We have Orion here. And Orion is being recognized for the National PTA Reflections Award for his outstanding interpretation. And Ms. Floria is going to play it for us right now.
If there is a problem in your life and you can't seem to fix it, all the hope has been drained out of you, all the light turned to darkness. Just like a candle smother burning bright, spreading hope through the night. Someone you love will always be there for you. Lost in the ocean, and there is no land in sight. Just raise your hopes up high and keep sailing through the night. Thunder booms and lightning cracks, but you are not alone. Comfort and love will bring you right back to your home. It's always important to stay positive throughout your life, but everyone feels sad sometimes, and it's okay to ask for guidance. As bright as day, they'll keep the shadows at bay, the shadows away. Someone you love will always be there for you. Lost in the ocean, and there is no land in sight. Just raise your hopes up high and keep sailing through the night. Thunder booms and lightning cracks, but you are not alone. Comfort and love will bring you right back to your home. You have found your way through the raging storm. Your friends have helped you through. You have made it back with those you love. You're not lost in the ocean. The sky is turning bright. You raise your hopes up high, and you've made it through the night. Thunder boomed and lightning cracked, but you stood your ground. Hope is what has brought you home. You were lost, but now you're found.
We thought it was really important for everyone to hear that and everything he wrote and those words that were so impactful. So you are extremely talented, and we're very, very proud of you. Congratulations.
Great job, Orion. Good job, Orion.
Our next recognition for tonight is Mia LaPiccolo, and Mia is being recognized for the Johnson's Renaissance National Student of the Month. It stands for is what you respect, reward, recognize, reinforces with relationships equals results. Is Mia here tonight with us? Let's give her a round of applause. I'll turn it back over to you, Mrs. Scavo.
Great, thank you. Student board member report. Who wants to go first? Michael?
Hi, everybody. So over at Sachem East, the Thanksgiving food drive was a huge success. We delivered over 400 boxes to all the elementary schools and middle schools, and all the leftover food we gave to the Brookhaven Food Pantry. And it was just really good. It was all planned out, went smoothly, it went great. Right now, we're planning the annual Spirit Week leading up to the holiday break. And our school is also hosting a holiday holiday toy drive. And yeah, that's about what we had.
Thank you, Michael.
Good evening, everyone. Sachem North also held our Thanksgiving food drive. It was an amazing event. It was so great to see how many people in the school and out of the school came together to help out the community. We had so many helpers and students driving around the boxes to all over the community, and so many families were helped. I believe it was a similar number, around 400 boxes delivered to families and schools. So that was amazing. Saturday, December 7th, we are holding Photo at the school. It is from 11 to 4 p.m. And we have many volunteers already deciding to come and help out. And I'm sure it'll only increase over the last 2 days of the week. We have many clubs getting ready with their trees, and it's going to be a great time. I believe it's free picture with Santa at the event. So it's going to be a great time. We were also planning our holiday Spirit Week the week before break. And we are also publicizing and getting ready for the school's toy drive for the holidays.
Thank you, Scott. I did see, I think the entire board took photos of the amount of food that you guys collected and the amount of density in the hallways of boxes and canned goods. And you guys did a phenomenal job, and all of the students that you recruited to help you and make it successful was absolutely tremendous. Congratulations to you guys for doing that. Okay, we have approval of the minutes from November 20th. Any motion, please? Mike Cerny, second Meredith. Questions or discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Now we have visitors, public comment. Each visit will be limited to 3 minutes to present. We're going to start with Ken Schofield. Come up and just push the button on the microphone. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for letting us speak tonight. My name is Kenny Schofield. I'm here with my wife, Kristen, and we're here on behalf of our daughter, Brianna, and other special needs children in the same situation as us. The reason we are here is because of the change in policy regarding special ed department and how long the special needs kids can stay in school. The policy used to be that special needs kids could stay in Sachem until 21. Then because of COVID, the New York Special Education Department changed it to 22 years old to make up for the classroom time and services they lost because of COVID. I think their intentions were to allow the students to stay in Sachem for an additional full year. The existing policy allowed them to finish the school year if they turned 21 during that year. The new policy does not specifically say anything about finishing the school year if they turn 22 during their school year. I don't think that's fair. They are telling some kids that they have to leave a few months into their senior year, and other students are allowed to stay and finish their whole year. When I discuss this issue with people and tell them they are not allowing my daughter to finish her senior year, they are like, "Are you kidding me? That's crazy." I think that's an oversight on the state school board, because since the new policy came out, the board has made statements recommending that special needs kids should finish their senior year. But it seems they were leaving it up to the school district to do the right thing and make that decision themselves. I was told the reason the board initially rejected the change in policy had nothing to do with money this year, but they're concerned that it could in the future. But I don't see that way, because if you have a student like Brianna leave in the middle of the year, you'll most likely have an empty seat for the remainder of the year. It's very unlikely that you're going to get an 812 student to join the school district in the middle of the school year. I had an idea that if there was an amendment to the policy, maybe it would only include students that were in Sachem North or East during COVID, not to include students that were much younger and would have many years to make up for the services they lost. I know Connecticut School District has made the change in policy regarding the matter, and there might be others as well. We started an online petition and received almost 2,000 signatures, and I would like to thank everyone for their support. I don't know if any of you have special needs kids, but they love school and they would probably stay in school forever. We know that's not realistic, and I know you try to make their senior year as enjoyable as possible, but for these kids, this might be as good as it gets. For most seniors at Sachem, this is just the first step in their future. They're learning to drive, applying to go away to college, start a career, buy a house, and raise a family. Special needs kids will probably not experience any of that. So their time at Sachem is a lot more important than it is to the typical kids. So in closing, we are just asking that you allow Brianna and other children in her situation to be allowed to finish this senior year just like everyone else. Thank you.
Kevin Dankel.
Hi, My name is Kevin Dinkle. I think my friend Brianna should stay in school. I think it's kind of
Take your time, Kevin. You're doing great.
I've been in me and my friends has been in Sachem for a long time. And Brianna is my friend, and I want her to stay in school. And I find Brianna as a best friend to us. And I just think it's great. And also, if Brianna leaves, then it's going to break up the family. So can we not break up the family? Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Elson, any more visitors? Okay, we have item 3, business items. Excuse me. We have a consent agenda A through C. I need a motion, please. Okay, Matthew, second by, who seconded over here? Michael, vice chair. Questions or discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Item 4 is personnel consent agenda items A through H. I need a motion, please. Michael Cernia, second. Matthew Bauman. Questions or discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Item 5, we have personnel consent agenda items A through E. Any motion, please? Michael Cerny, second by Vinnie Reynolds. Questions or discussions on this matter? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Item 6, we have personal consent agenda A through B. I need a motion, please. Michael Cerny, second by Vinnie Reynolds. Questions or discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Congratulations, Andy. All right. Item 7, we have contracts consent agenda A through B. I need a motion, please. Okay, Matthew Bauman, second by Michael Cerny. Questions or discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Item 8, donations. We have one donation, Chippewa Elementary School. Any motion, please? Okay. Vinnie Reynolds, second by Meredith Volpe. Questions or discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. A committee on special education consent agenda A through B involving meetings from November 21st, 25th, 26th, December 2nd through 4th. Any motion, please? Alex Picarillo, second by Matthew Bauman. Questions or discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Monthly reports. Anybody want to report on the committees or the board committees? We got who, Meredith?
Okay, so I'll do legislative and I'll let Andy do diversity because it was great. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend the legislative on Monday evening, but I have notes from Stephanie. The next meeting, they'll be picking their chair people. They discussed the state regionalization plan and the need to advocate for proper implementation and funding. Discussed advocating for fair funding and for unfunded mandates. They're looking at the possibility of speaking with elected officials, and the date for that could possibly be January 23rd. They were wondering if they could have any of the committee members attend the legislative breakfast, but I don't know if that's
We I know we had in the past. I think what they do is they open it up to school district administration and board of education first. We pay per seat now,
right.
where we used to pay per table. But if we don't have, if we have empty seats, obviously we'll look to maybe put some people in. I think probably the elected, committee chairs would be
Okay.
good for that.
The New York State PTA Lobby Day is March 3rd, and they are in Albany from the 4th through the 6th advocating. One member works in a neighboring school districts and, as discussed previously, wants to attend each other's meetings so we can collaborate. She'll be getting back to us on their goals to see if they align with the Sachem's goals so that we can advocate for fair funding together. Middle Country and Longwood are teaming up together to go to Albany on March 18th with staff, students, and their community. We felt that that might be a little bit late in the month, so we asked if they could go earlier. But if they can't go early, I think we should probably all try to make it. And then one of our committee members, Dana, who is very experienced in this, she was going to reach out to Mr. Barbera with his and see what he was thinking about for maybe an Albany trip as well. And then they seem to be eager to work with the BAC. And the next meeting will be at some point in January. We just haven't picked a date yet.
Questions from the board? Have we given the committee charges yet? Do you know?
I thought you gave them a charge to talk about regionalization.
Yeah, we did that.
And that's what they did on Monday night. Like I said, unfortunately, Stephanie was the only one that was able to attend that meeting out of the board. Vinny and I were unable to attend it.
And then unfunded mandates as well.
Unfunded mandates, you gave them that as well.
So does the board want to charge them? We're looking into those as well. Maybe put together a comprehensive report, present to the board, and then maybe are they going to look to do a legislative forum this year? I know
That was kind of like on the fence. We weren't.
not sure with that.
Yeah, I don't think we had enough people that were interested. It didn't go as well as we would have liked it to last year. So I
Yeah.
don't think that it's something we want to repeat this year unless we. And right now, to kind of put that together, it'll kind of flop.
With regard to the and Alex, I guess questions for you, Longwood legislative forum, we have to have questions put together in advance. They do not take questions on the floor. What is the deadline in submitting those questions?
I believe that the deadline is January 10th.
January 10th?
Mhm.
Okay. So can that committee, we charge that committee with coming up with questions as to, things that we might want to ask as a district, at that forum? Because like I said, they don't allow you to do it,
Right.
on the fly. Is
So
there-
that would actually, if that's the case, then we can have their input. And then since we are paying per person that's going, maybe we wouldn't need committee members to go then because their voices are going to be heard. I mean, while the breakfast is lovely and it's put on by the children, which is great, I think saving the money right now would be more important.
Sure.
So as far as taking a trip to Albany, Mr. Barbera and I have already met with Doug Smith, and we're looking to do it at the end of January. We're just finalizing the day. So we'll be doing it earlier.
Okay. Any other committee reports? Diversity, Ms. Larson?
So the diversity committee met for the first time tonight. We had a great showing from the community, students, staff members. We started with picking up where the diversity committee left off last year, and it seems like there were a lot of great ideas that we need to follow through on. So we came up with some first steps of, first of all, making our new families especially feel welcome coming into the community. We talked about videos that we could put together to push out into our schools on our smart boards, even if it's 5-10 minutes at the beginning of the day. Also videos that we could show our incoming families who are new to the district. One of the things I said is Sachem is an incredibly proud place, and at times that can be intimidating from an outside perspective. And also asking our buildings to put together some information about the different languages that are spoken about or spoken in our from our new families and the different cultures that are represented in each of our buildings, along with looking at what are some of the highlights that diversity is showcased through our events in each building, because I think we tend to duplicate things between buildings when we have a lot of great things going on that we need to consolidate so that we're not doing things once, twice, and 3 times. We could get a lot more done and showcase that for our families and our community.
Thank you. And any other updates, Sabrina?
I just want to add to that. This was Andy's first time facilitating diversity, and it went really well. There were some really great conversations going on in groups. Again, we mixed kids with teachers and staff and community members. lots of great conversations. Just to put this out there so you could know this, a lot of the information that came from the students is wanting to communicate more with each other and opportunities to communicate with each other. One girl shared how she was sitting on the bus next to someone. She comes from, where did she come from?
A student from
You're a
Haiti.
better storyteller
Yeah,
than
a
I.
student from Haiti sat on the bus for a full year next to another young lady. Had no idea they came from the same country until this year when she was speaking to her mom on the phone in Creole. And the girl who she sat next to for probably roughly 360 trips looked at her and said, "You speak Creole? Wait, you're from Haiti?" And now all of a sudden they're talking. Had no idea sitting next to each other that whole time.
But I think every student that I spoke to or spoke up, that was one of the things that wanting to communicate and find commonalities so that we could celebrate the diversities. So that was the theme. So if there's any way we could get the students to be able to communicate and get their heads out of phones and technology, they're asking for it. So I thought that was great. But yeah, it was a great meeting as always.
Any other updates?
Yeah, just we're going to resume the budget advisory committee after the holidays in January. So, Michelle, I think we'll have a draft budget sometime in January, or because I think in our next meeting, aren't we getting presented with an initial draft?
Yes. So for the next meeting, we'll be looking at the salary codes and some of our like the debt service, our medical insurance, and things like that. As the information is starting to come in, we're populating it in the budget. I was just running the reports tonight, so we'll be pulling all the salaries in. So I should have something for the board by next Friday in the Friday packet, and then we'll present it at the next board meeting.
So what we'll do is we'll schedule a budget advisory meeting after that in January and start the process of going through everything. Okay. Thank you.
Great. Perfect. Meredith?
One of the things in the diversity meeting that kind of struck a chord with me is one of the young ladies was saying how they used to, unfortunately, because of budget cuts, the diversity club was cut. And they were able to put on a day where they could each dress like they were from their country. They had a henna booth, which I thought was super interesting. They brought in all different foods from each other's backgrounds. And one of the things, when you're talking about diversity, it can actually be an intimidating thing to talk about. And one of the nicest things is, I started to say to her, like, I have a friend who I asked her what Diwali was because she put it on her Facebook, and she told me what it was, and it's really beautiful. We need to be able to approach each other more and speak to each other more. And I was hoping that maybe we could have a Board of Ed meeting, because we don't have the club anymore, that maybe we could have a Board of Ed meeting where they could have henna on them and dress and every whatever culture, whatever children want to come here and present something about themselves, what makes them diverse, because the more and more you learn about other people and what makes them diverse, the more you realize how similar we really are. And I think sometimes you don't realize, you don't want to ask because you don't want to say it wrong. You don't want to ask the wrong question, but that person is yearning for you to ask them about it. She also brought up the fact that, she has to fast quite often for religious purposes, and teachers need to be more understanding of that. But how is a teacher going to know that, you're fizzling out at the end of the day because you haven't eaten anything and you can't eat anything? Also making sure that if we know when these children are fasting, that we don't have things in classrooms. Like she had at a different school that she used to go to, she had a teacher that, had a kind of like class party on a day that she was fasting. I think the more and more we start talking about it, bringing it up, and aren't as intimidated by other people and what we think, and I think then that'll just automatically lend itself. I was saying to Andy that we should really have our principals not to put more work on them, but let us know how many different cultures, how many different languages, how many different nationalities they have within their own building. And like that can be highlighted at a Board of Ed meeting, instead of it just being in a Friday packet where the 9 of us see it, have it highlighted at a Board of Ed meeting. And then our entire community, as much as I'd love to think that the entire community watches, they can see it, and it's always on YouTube, and they can go back, and eventually we'll get one of these board meetings to go viral.
Okay. Patty, we could look into that. Okay. All right. Item 11 is closing comments. Allison, any speakers? Old business, Mr. Trombetta, nothing on the agenda for old business. Board discussion items, there is nothing on the agenda. Future discussion items. Alex?
I just wanted to talk quickly about the regionalization plan. I stood with the coalition in Nassau County at a press conference. We sent a letter as a Board of Ed. There was multiple letters sent. There was threats of lawsuits sent. The language has changed from the state since. So the people who thought that we were being crazy and being, jumping the gun by fighting it immediately, I think that it was a good thing that we fought it. And I think that, I don't know, not tonight, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but we really should talk about how we can officially opt out. We're in no position to be sharing any of our current resources right now with anybody. If anything, we need more resources from the state. So I think that we should talk about opting out. There is an official way. I don't know if it's been made public yet on how to do it, but I think the sooner the better. Get out in front of it. Lead the charge on Long Island, because we're going to be the first of many to get out as soon as possible.
Okay. Any other future discussion items? Just one I'd like to add. Rockefeller Institute just concluded their study on the formulation of the foundation formula. 344-page document, I think it was, which I know that people are starting to go through now. If we can get a discussion, a board discussion as to the pros and cons of the recommendations and how it may or may not impact Sachem moving forward. Because you're talking about foundation aid, and that's the biggest part of our budget that we get from the state.
So before the next meeting, actually that same day, the New York State Association of School Business Officials is having a webinar for us to go through what that impact is going to be, so I could provide
It's a lot of
update.
information.
Yes, it is. I've been reading.
So
we
I
can
don't, it
provide
doesn't
an
have to be
update
next
at
meeting,
that
but
meeting.
when we feel it can be presented, so the community can understand it and we can understand it. Yeah. Any other future discussion items? Okay. Our next meeting is scheduled for December 18th here in the boardroom. I need a motion to go into exec session to discuss a SCTA grievance and then a personal matter involving a staff member made known to the board. Motion, please. Meredith, second. Vinnie Reynolds, questions or discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Have a good evening, everyone.